Everyone. In this episode, we will cover enterprise losses and what AI sees that you and I don't. In today's world, most businesses have their processes, they have their analytics dashboards, they have their reports, and they have strong management teams. Yet there is a feeling that what's happening under the surface is not really getting reflected in these dashboards and reports. Hi, my name is Inayat Kabir. I'm the co-founder of DGOP Consulting, and we work at the intersection of strategy and digital transformation. Today, I'm joined by Kapil Soni, who is the founder and CEO of Intelliquent AI. Hi, Kapil.
Hi, Leonard. Thank you.
So, I'll start this question, the outset that there has been a fair amount of buzz about AI, and everyone claims that they have AI built into their tools or they are native AI. Also, the ERPs are getting stronger, and for pretty much every function, you have function-specific tools. So essentially, everybody is raising their bar, or at least claiming so. So how do you think the AI play will happen now that the playing field is becoming stronger and everyone is upping their game?
Good question, Anat. I would start with a little bit humorous thing. I would say today everyone is carrying another Kashrag in his or her pocket. Yet there is a wish that I should have others one. Right? And that's where the role is coming up. It's about agentic AI and everyone having its own unique problem solution. Are we connected very well? Think about the management point of view. Yes, you are from finance, you will say my reconciliations are happening very fast using AI. You are from procurement, you can say that yes, my bidding process, my entire thing is very well converted into data structure and I'm submitting to the potential vendor and my work is easy. From management point of view, they are more concerned about what value I'm generating. And that's where it has to be connected very well. And we have to understand that are we using it ethically or unethically? Because when we talk about AI, a lot of things we can generate as per our command, as per our prompt. Now, when we generate those information, because it is again a generative AI, and it depends upon what way you want to transform or what way you want to tell the story. It's your story way in a very precise manner. Are we connecting the right thing, which is important, and that you can get to know only when you connect the entire dots of it. So I would say yes, there's a lot of talk about it, but still a long way to go to get a kind of holistic view sitting at the top. What's going on at down the line? Are we really getting the right benefit? Is the gen working well for everyone? Or is it like, very specific and very case related?
So are you trying to say, Kapil, ki, at a function level, yes, there are tools, etc. But AI at a management level can really weave all these functions together and, the management can see the real value creation.
Exactly.
Is that something that you're hinting at?
Absolutely. Because if I think from management point of view, management would like to see the credit in the P&L. That if anyone talks about that by using this tool, I have saved this much or I generated this thing, and then it's the P&L and the cash, what cash profit I'm generating. That's where I think visibility still lacks. And why? Because data is everywhere. The way we do business now is completely shifted the way we were doing earlier. And on top of it, there are some notorious activities around the geopolitical way, which also compels you to think 100 times a day, should I do this, should I not do this?
Yes, that's a real
Right.
consideration now.
So geopolitical tension, technology transformation, people behavior, Gen Z is coming up. All those things put together, we really need to understand not only the visible outcome of all those decisions, but the potential behavior pattern of the man force. How are they going to deal with? It's not a era where we can say that, yes, the way we used to work earlier, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we give instruction or we used to get instructions and we were following it. Today, neither system nor human follow the same pattern. The patterns are building up on day-to-day basis. The patterns are changing on day-to-day basis.
And I would imagine with new patterns, the data generated by business are also going to increase and becoming diverse and more fragmented.
Exactly. And that's where the need is. How to handle it where I think people of business understanding, domain knowledge expertise, And then using the technology in a right manner is very much important, rather just adopting technology because those cases might have been built up on keeping in mind one particular scenario, but is it really fitting to your scenario? And that's where the role of human will always come. So a lot of hype and a lot of news we talk about use of AI. I mean, the more we use, humans will be replaced by AI. No, that's not right, because humans would need to adopt something new. It's evaluation process, and we are sitting at that point of time. How are we giving our work, which we used to do as an operational or monotonous work, to AI, getting more insights from it, and use it for further development of the business or the strategy or the way of performing the transaction or way of looking at the transactions. We have to think beyond the lens. That's what the change is on the door. I think that's how we have to see the things.
Yeah, I mean, see, as till a few years ago, I was an executive myself. So on one side, if AI can actually solve this, and what I hear from you is that AI will be able to generate real insights from diverse and gigantic datas generated across the business. And also it will kind of unify the insights generated across business, across functions, and give something which is meaningful and coherent to the management.
Exactly. And the way you started the title, that the losses hidden in the business, which you and I cannot see and AI can see, and on top of it, what you're talking about, having huge amount of data from everywhere. And that's where the transformation is required. And if this question comes, how AI can see and how we cannot see, is exactly this way. Because on paper, you see everything fine. For example, you as an auditor or as a business management point of view, you see that yes, we did 1 billion amount of procurement, and we handled 1,000 vendors. We followed the bidding process. We followed everything. Paper, everything is fine. But when you start looking the data from a different angle, and of course, a pattern part, you start feeling that there are only 10% of vendors who are doing the entire procurement.
Correct.
Dealing in the tax.
But always there's the 80-20 rule.
80-20 rules.
Yeah. Pareto.
Exactly. And then when you see that how these 10% vendors taking the 90% business from vendor concentration point of view, you will see the pattern that it's a cartelization. It's somewhere the rotational bidding is happening, which humanly you cannot handle because you're picking up some samples, 50 samples, 100 samples. You see that, yeah, everything is...
And for all you know, the process is being followed.
Process is being followed. Right. But when you see the pattern, you start seeing some benefits reference given to certain set of vendors. Maybe in payment terms, maybe in delivery terms, maybe in
or some timing. Yeah, we said the same thing together.
Yes, timing. So all those things, when you start looking at the pattern, you see that no, something is not right. Now, pattern study, you were doing early roles, but data was limited. Or you were doing on a sample. You used to say, I did sample review of few cases and I found this pattern. Who knows that you're missing those patterns on unselected data. Today, that's the beauty of AI. You train it for certain patterns and you apply it on the holistic data. And in a fraction of minutes or seconds, you get the entire visibility. And that's where the point is. And that's where we start looking into it. So ethical use of AI, unethical use of AI, how I am using it for the best case, that's where the transformation is required. That's where people like you and me or similar nature, who can understand the business better, who can understand technology better, and become a bridge between these two and give the right way to go.
No, wonderful. This takes me back